Luxor is an innovative phosphate foliar product which is designed to apply phosphate through the leaf in its unique formulation, with also some potassium and some nitrogen and a little bit of copper and zinc, but predominantly with its humic and fulvic acids. It has a really good uptake into the plant, so a really good way of getting phosphate into the plant itself. So phosphate being very, very important, probably the second most important nutrient after nitrogen when it comes to yield of a crop. And one of the biggest problems with getting phosphate into a plant is historically it's always been through the root. And the biggest problem with phosphate in the soil, it's incredibly immobile. So it has to be right next to the root to be taken up there. And what we find in UK soils is most phosphate is in a very immobile form. So whilst there's phosphate in the soil, it's not available to the crop. And phosphate fertilizers historically are very, very inefficient. Some of the recent research has suggested less than 10% of soil applied phosphate from traditional sources is actually taken up by that crop. Whereas this product is designed to go in through the leaf, so everything that goes into it goes into the leaf and is available for the crop to actually use the phosphate to drive the energy processes which allow growth and yield going forwards. I think one of the biggest problems with phosphate is it's a very expensive application. And the way phosphate fertilizers traditionally are, we mine them from a rock in places like Morocco. We turn it into a fertilizer, we spread it halfway around the world, and then a farmer will spread it onto his farm at a very, very expensive, pound for pound, one of the most expensive inputs he will put on. And if the soil is, the pH of the soil is either too high or too low, within literally days, that can turn back to rock again. So basically all we've done is move rock halfway around the world. So from an environmental point of view, a disaster. From a farmer's purse point of view, all he's got is a lot of phosphate in the soil that's doing nothing. And what's even worse now is when that phosphate attached to soil particles gets to the watercourses, it's causing some significant problems environmentally with the likes of eutrophication and becoming a real problem for the Environment Agency. So the whole way of phosphate management is based on technology from probably 60, 70 years ago. And we need to move on and use some new innovations such as Luxor, which can really replace what we have been doing, which for a farmer's point of view is significantly cheaper, it's much more efficient and much better for the environment.